Hi everyone and welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to be looking at the latest patch notes, so 1.4.0 for the game, the finals. And with the patch notes that you're going to see over here, lights have been buffed slightly and heavies have been nerfed slightly. So let's have a look at the balance changes and what they've done to the game, and then talk about every single change. Okay, so the first change, abilities. Goo gun fixed an issue where goo could block the player. So I don't know if you know this, if you shot a goo at a player, then the player could get stuck inside of a goo, so I'm glad they fixed that. Mesh shield has been reduced to 1100 from 1250. That's a reduction, so that's a bit of a nerf for the heavy class. Recon senses activation cost reduced to 1 from 2, so that's a bit of a buff actually. As for the gadgets, the C4, so the damage has been reduced for the C4, the radius also has been reduced, and actually the damage multiplier has been increased, so if you do damage yourself you're gonna really pay for the price for that. Okay, as for the dome shield, the heavy class, the shield that looks like a Winston shield, that's been reduced from 350 to 300, so not that much, but still quite a nerf. The gas mine has also been nerfed because the arming time has been added. Okay, the glitch mine has been nerfed as well. The goo grenade has been fixed because the goo grenade as well could do the same thing where you could be stuck inside of a goo and you just can't walk or whatever. Mines have also been reduced because, as you all know, mines in this game are very problematic, so the damage has been reduced to 140 from 160, the radius has also been reduced, and the arming time has been increased. Okay, the pyromine has also been nerfed, even though in my opinion the pyromine was not that broken to begin with. The gas mine was always much more broken than the pyromine, so it's a bit of a weird change for me, but whatever. RPG has also been nerfed, so the RPG was crazy broken, it could always just insta-kill people, so the damage reduction has shifted from 165 to 150, the player damage reduced from 90 to 80, the radius reduced from 4.75 to 4.5, everything related to the RPG has been nerfed basically. Okay, so we're gonna completely look at something else now. We're gonna look at the stun gun. So the stun gun, the range for the stun gun has shifted as well from 12 meters to 10 meters. Okay, so that's good because actually the stun gun did feel a bit weak at certain times, especially against heavies, so I'm glad they've kind of buffed it up a little bit. Maybe we're going to see a bit more stun gun players in the game, although you do see them quite a bit, especially in competitive, so we're gonna have to see what happens with this. Okay, as for the game shows, so they added a repulsor to the flying saucers in the alien invasion event. That's, I guess, a quality of life addition. Vegas, they've added more strain, so more buildings get damaged and the way they get damaged is better, which is really nice. I really like that. They resolved an issue where cash out stations would become invisible before players finish the transfer. That is really good as well. That was really annoying. I experienced that myself. You would just not see the cash out stations when you're playing on Vegas sometimes. In Banquet, they've removed the deathmatch game show from event, which I think is good because it made no sense to have it in the first place. Anyway, Banquet was more about like having to kill people anyway, so it just made no sense to have it there. As for the weapons, the AKM had slight adjustment to its recoil pattern, so it's become a little bit better from what I've experienced as well. The flamethrower has had its rate increased as well, so if you're a flamethrower player, a heavy player, you're gonna really like this change. The LH1 has had also a damage increase, which is nice. I don't see too many people using the LH1 actually, so it's maybe that's gonna kind of drive people to try it out a bit more. Melee weapons, so they fixed an issue where the melee sometimes did not connect with people when you tried hitting someone, so that is really good, especially with the sword. Sometimes that happened with the sword actually, or the dagger. So the M11 also has had its damage increased, which is excellent. The riot shield, this is a really funny bug actually, because this is something I saw as well. It's like where the shield would actually block the bullets while you're invisible. So if you're trying to revive someone or you're trying to do something else as well, it would still block the bullets, making you kind of invincible, so I'm glad we fixed that. As for the shotgun, the most problematic shotgun in the game, so they've increased the pellet dispersion a little bit, and they've also reduced the pellet from 7 to 8, okay, from 8 to 7, sorry. So it's had a reduction, and I think the change was very necessary because the shotgun on a heavy class was very broken, so I'm glad that they fixed that. As for the movement, vaulting, they've reduced instances where you unintentionally climbed on objects outside of a player's view. That did sometimes happen, especially if you're hugging a wall. Sometimes when you're hugging a wall, you start climbing it on your own without wanting to, actually, so I'm glad they fixed that. Fixed an issue where players could get stuck without being able to give input. That is 100% good as well, because before sometimes you could just get stuck, you could not move, so I'm glad that they fixed that. The ziplines, they prevented the placement of ziplines on pickables. So before, you could put ziplines on canisters, for example, and then when you wanted to use the zipline, sometimes the canister would explode and that would kill you. So I'm glad that they fixed that. That was really weird, actually. As for the UI, they've done some various changes as well. So they've fixed the contestant screen, which is really good. They've polished up the social screen, which is really nice. They've added a warning button as well that shows that players are in danger and that they're being AFK kicked, which is excellent. Player health bars now use the squad color when selected in the settings. That's really good. And the UI shows you as unranked unless you're among the top 500 in the leaderboards, basically. So I think that's really good altogether. So guys, these are the patches, these are the patch notes. I'm gonna make another video talking about the light, medium and heavy classes and the changes that we've gone through and what I think are some of the best builds for them. So if you're interested, please have a look at it. I think you're gonna really like the video, and please consider subscribing for more. Take care guys, bye bye.